Morgan De Guzman, and I'm from Ramber Financials. I'm a business development officer from Ramber, and I'm 23 years old po. Yes po, 23 years old. I live in Laguna, San Pablo, Laguna. Kung mapansin nyo, meron akong konting punto. So kahit nung tagal ko na sa Manila, dala-dala ko pa rin itong pagiging taga Laguna. So to begin po, let's start. I'll share you my screen. So nakikita na po ba? Hindi pa. Hello po. Okay na? Okay na, sir? Okay na ba?
Yes. Okay na.
Okay na, Morgan. Go.
Okay, so Sir Eric talk about our company. So Sir Eric talk about Ramber Financials, since Ramber Financials at anong ginagawa namin. And the topic in this slide, in this presentation is all about mutual fund investing. Pero before investing, itong pinaka-importante, what are your financial dreams? Before investing, you must have a goal. Bago po tayo gumawa ng kahit anong investment or let's say savings, para saan ba tayo nag-iipon? Bakit ba tayo naglalagay ng savings sa bangko natin? Para saan ba yan? Para lang mag-ipon ng limpak-limpak na pera. So the first thing about investing is you have to know your goal. You have to know your financial dream. Bago ka mag-invest, kailangan mong partneran niya ng dream mo. And ito yung mga sample dreams na meron tayo. So most commonly, una-una, retirement fund. And ito yung isa sa mga pinaka binuboost at dinidiscuss ng mga MG members, retirement fund. So I'm sure alam niyo na lahat yan, retire tayo na 60, and after 60, we're not able to work anymore and kailangan natin ng fund para masustain yung living natin, para tuloy-tuloy. Second thing is educational fund. And so familiar naman tayo lahat. I'm sure lahat po tayo, mga parents po dyan, gustong-gusto po natin yung mga anak natin sa magagandang school. And yung tuition natin, pamahal ng pamahal. And sino ba namang magulang ang aayaw sa aayaw sa magandang school? Lahat ng magulang nangangarap sa magandang school. So that's educational fund. Meron din tayong dream house, dream lot, and dream car. Ito, I'm so obsessed with a dream house. Gustong-gusto ko na ng dream house ko. And yung travel funds, funds for future businesses. And ako, personally, I have, I think, four investment account. And yung isa doon is for my wedding fund, yung isa doon is for my dream house. Konti-konti, step by step, ginagawa ko na, sinisimulan ko na. Just unlike nung nakita ko with my experience na gusto na nila ng bahay, nakapag-ipon sila, and they end up na mangungutang sa bangko, maglo-loan sila para makuha yung dream house nila. And ako, ayokong mangyari yun. So, at this very young age, sinisimulan ko ng pag-ipon yung dream house ko. So again, before investing, we must know our financial dreams. Para saan ba tong investment na ito? Okay, next slide. And ito si Boss Rex. So nabanggit kanina ni Sir Eric, si Boss Rex, our president. So sabi niya, goals without deadlines are just dreams. So we have to put a deadline in these dreams. Kasi kung dream, goal lang natin yan, so ang tanong, kailan ba natin yan makukuha? Goals without deadlines are just dreams. Lahat tayo, sinasabi halos lahat ng tao. I want to be successful. I want to be a millionaire. Gusto ko maging bilyonaryo or whatever. But the question is when. That's why you have to challenge yourself. Put a deadline on it at kailan mo yan gagawin. So goals without deadlines are just dreams. And here, we have all the idea. Sinabi ko kanina, we have the idea to be a millionaire, to be successful. We have the plan, we're acting, but we have to execute. Kailangan natin gawin yan. Kailangan nating i-push talaga yung sarili natin. And ito, mga example. So, familiar po ba kayo sa kanya? So, some example, I'm gonna share some story about this man, this legend. So, this is Allen Iverson. And sa loob ng career niya sa NBA, I think around 16 years. So si Mr. Allen Iverson, isa siyang sikat na NBA player. So I'm sure familiar kayo lahat kay Kobe Bryant na nasa car accident this very recent lang, sa car accident. So Allen Iverson played with the same era kay Kobe Bryant. And meron silang rivalry. Naglaro sila ng isang beses sa finals. So magkasabayan sila, isa din siyang sikat din si Allen Iverson, naging MVP, naging celebrity na rin siya, marami siyang endorsement, commercials, at sikat si Mr. Allen Iverson. And sa paglalaro niya lang ng basketball, generated an income of $200 million, and that's 10 billion pesos in peso. And si Mr. Allen Iverson, sa kasamaang palad, he went broke. So imagine yung 10 billion na yan, yung $200 million na yan. That's a fortune. Yung wealth na yan parang hindi na mauubos. Paano mauubusin yung 10 billion? But unfortunately for Mr. Allen Iverson, naubos yan and he went broke. Sabi niya sa interviews niya, he can even afford a single burger. He can pay off his rent. So nangyari lahat yan dahil mismanage na kanyang finances. So bakit ba nangyari yan? So knowing na si Mr. Allen Iverson, so ayan mga celebrity, may pagka-luxurious sila. And si Mr. Allen Iverson, sobrang galante na, nanlilibrihan sa mga kaibigan niya, nagka-clubbing sila, sasagutin niya yung for the night, lahat ng bill, kanya lahat yan. Nagsha-shopping spree, kasama pa yung mga friends niya, mga sasakyan niya na sobrang dami, tapos end up being towed. And sinabi niya, okay, you can have it. I have 10 Lamborghinis. So, ganun ang mindset niya. Meron din siyang Rolls Royce na binigay niya sa friend niya. And this happened to Mr. Allen Iverson. Pero for now, nagbabasketball pa rin siya kahit papano. Meron pa rin siya mga commercial. Tinutulungan siya ng NBA. May icon pa din naman si Mr. Allen Iverson. Tinutulungan siya pa konti-konti. And the problem dito sa mga NBA player, nadadrop sila. Pumapasok sila sa NBA, mga teenager pa lang, 18, 19, hindi pa sila tapos sa school. So after NBA, ayun ang problema, yung post-retirement nila. After playing basketball, what will they do next? Tapos wala pa silang degree. So ayun yung problema sa post-retirement. So this happened to Mr. Allen Iverson, very unfortunate. But let's take a look at this guy. So that's Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. So sikat din yan, si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. And naging kakampi siya ni Kobe Bryant. So they played around middle of the 90s hanggang 2000, early 2010. Late 2010 si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. Sa loob ng kanyang career, nagkaroon siya ng $300 million or 15 billion peso. Pero si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal is very different with Mr. Allen Iverson. So you see Mr. Allen Iverson, massive spender. But si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, business-minded siya. Entrepreneur siya. And yung first, so si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal pumasok sa NBA ng 19 years old. At yung unang niyang check, unang pay sa kanya, naubos niya lahat yan sa pag-gimmick niya lang. And sinabi niya, hindi pwede to. I have to know my finances. I have to study my finances. Pinag-aralan niya yan, and later on, he missed, I'm sure familiar kayo sa kanya, so siya na ngayon yung richest man in the world, si Mr. Jeff Bezos. So siya yung owner ng Amazon, the richest man in the world right now. And at a very young age, si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, tinuruan siya ni Mr. Jeff Bezos ng investing. At dito sa mga investing na to, so saan ba siya nag-invest? So nag-invest si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal sa stock market. And dito siya nag-invest most commonly sa Google and sa Apple. Familiar naman tayo lahat sa Google and Apple. Imagine, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal invested in these companies late 90s. So 90s pa lang nag-invest na siya dyan. Ngayon it's 2020. So imagine the growth of these companies, Google and Apple, gaano sila kalaki. Lahat tayo nag-Google, lahat tayo naka-Gmail halos, lahat tayo nag-YouTube. So lahat yan owned by Google. And itong Apple, so yan yung nangunguna, mga technology giant. So that's Apple. And this investment made his net worth quadruple, said by Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. And ito, one thing, meron din siyang investment sa Krispy Kreme donuts. Kasi favorite donuts niya daw yan. And pero, nag-invest siya dahil favorite donuts niya yan. Pero, may growth din sa company na yan. And I'm sure sikat na sikat yung Krispy Kreme and lahat tayo kumakain na. Maliban lang po sa mga diabetic. So, joke po ayun. And itong mga investment na to may this net worth quadruple, sabi ni Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. And now, meron siyang 155 franchises ng Five Guys Burger and Fries. Meron siyang 40 franchises ng 24-hour fitness. So, hindi lang yan yung mga investments niya. pati real estate, sobrang dami. So ito yung mga highlight, yung mga big investment ni Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. So let's take a look at it again. Mr. Allen Iverson and Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. Sino po ba ang gusto nating tularan? Sino gusto nating gayahin? Of course, this is Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. So next slide. We have 3 financial stages. So that's man at work. So ano ba yung man at work? Pumapasok tayo, tulad ko, I go to work at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I will exchange myself, my body, my skill, my knowledge sa company in exchange for my hours. They will pay me for it. So that's man at work. Man and money at work naman. So paano ba gumagana to? So ako nagtatrabaho ako, pumapasok ako sa trabaho at yung pera ko nagtatrabaho. Paano ba 'yon? So magpapautang ba ako? Papaikutin ko ba? Magpa-5-6 ba ako? Money at work. Tumutubo yung pera ko sa pagpapautang ko. And yung pangatlo, money at work. So, ayan yung 3 financial stages. So, una, papasok ka sa trabaho. Pangalawa, pagsasabayin mo na yan. Pangatlo, yung pera mo na lang magtatrabaho sa'yo. So, nasan ba dyan si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal? So, si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, he could be money at work. But he still chooses to be an entrepreneur and nasa NBA pa rin siya as an analyst, as an host. So, si Mr. Shaquille O'Neal is man and money at work. Kasi yung mga mayaman, mga bilyonaryo, wala yung kaligayahan. Tuloy-tuloy lang yan. Let's say, look at Mr. Bill Gates, look at Mr. Jeff Bezos, Mr. Warren Buffett. Patuloy-tuloy pa rin sila. Hindi pa rin sila nagre-retire kahit meron na silang retirement fund. Sobrang dami. So, that's the 3 financial stages. And today, we will learn how yung money at work. So, hindi lang yan yung pagpapautang. May iba pa tayong ituturo, may iba pa tayong matututunan na money at work, and that's investing. Next slide. So bago tayo mag-invest, we have to save first. Ano bang invest natin kung wala tayong naipon? So kailangan mo natin matuto ng tamang pag-iipon. So savings, ayan yung amount saved when all expenses is subtracted from the earned income in the given period of time. In short, ganito siya. Old savings formula. So yung income natin, let's say I have an income of 20,000 and meron akong expenses monthly, sila Meralco, tubig, pagkain, allowance, load, internet. So ayun yung expenses ko. Let's say that's 10,000 and meron akong matitirang 10,000. So yung 10,000 na yun mapupunta sa savings and investment ko. So that's the old savings formula. And there's a new saving formula. So said by Mr. Warren Buffett. So do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. For short, ganito siya. Yung income ko na 20,000, ibabawas ko na agad yung savings and investment ko. For example, I want to save and invest at least 15,000. So yung 20,000 na kinita ko, 15,000 ibabawas ko na agad. Tatanggalin ko na agad. At yung 5,000 ang magiging expenses ko. So with that strategy, with that discipline, madidisiplina ko rin yung sarili ko na magtipid. Imbis kumpara noon pa Starbucks ako, taxi ako ng taxi. So ngayon, meron na akong 5,000. Kailangan ko sumabit sa jeep. Kailangan ko mag 3-in-1. Ayoko mag-Jollibee muna for lunch. Kakain muna ako sa karinderya para makatipid. So that's the new savings formula. And with that, madidisiplina mo yung sarili mo. So moreover, where do you put your savings? Of course, you put it on your bank, in your banks. Hindi na uso yung lalagay ngayon sa kama, sa ilalim ng unan, lalagay sa baul, iniipit sa damitan. Of course, we save it in banks. Hindi rin masyado uso alkansya ngayon. You save it in banks. And where do you spend your money? We save it in yung consumption natin, mga major needs natin. Foods, utilities, and entertainment. So, ayan yung mga foods. Ayan yung mga example ng company. Pure Gold, San Miguel, Jollibee. Utilities, Maynilad, Meralco, PLDT, Globe, and Petron. Entertainment, so ayan yung mga malls. SM, Ayala Malls, and Robinsons. So, the saver and consumer dilemma. So, before putting money in the bank, alam po ba natin kung paano gumagana ng bangko? Bakit ba gusto ng bangko lagi na naka-deposit sa kanila lahat ng pera? Parang it's like they want to take control of the money, majority ng tao. So, para po sa mga tatrabaho sa bangko dyan, so, I think ito yung nangyayari and sana po hindi kayo ma-offend sa slide na ito. So, as a saver sa bank deposit, so tayo as a depositor, mag-deposit ako ng 100,000 at bibigyan nila tayo ng 1% na interest. So that's the interest with tax. Mapansin natin sa passbook natin, nagpa-fluctuate. Nagkakaroon ng centavos-centavos sa huli. And yung ano bang ginagawa ng bank sa nakadeposit na pera? Papansin natin, tuwing papasok tayo, ma'am, sir, gusto niyo po ba ng savings account, time deposit? Gusto niyo po ba ng mag-open ng ganitong account? Bakit ganun? So ito, ngayon na-depositor na ako ng bangko na to. So ano bang major source of income ng bank? Of course, ayun yung pagpapautang din. Pero hindi yan 5-6. So nagle-lend din sila. And that's the major source of income ng banks. That's the major business of bank. Bukod sa pagde-deposit ng pera. So of course, yung pinapautang para sa mga maglo-loan, magkano interest yung binibigay ng bank. So assuming na it's 8%, pero hindi lang 8% yan. It depends. And yung 7% na interest na kinita from the loan, saan pupunta? Of course, it will go straight to the owner. And you see here, ano bang pinapautang na pera ng bank? So that's the deposited money, deposited cash of the public individuals. And pinagkakakitaan nila yung pera na yan. That's why here in IMG, here in Ramber Financials, we only encourage, not us only. So ito, rule talaga to. Kahit sa natin itanong, sa natin i-research, we must save at least 3 to 6 months lang, at least 3 months up to 6 months of our gross income. Saying na I have 20,000 monthly income, I must have at least 60,000 in the bank and the maximum of 120,000 as a savings or emergency fund. That's why you don't put everything in the bank. And later on, we'll tackle diversification, meaning yung pagkakalat ng pera natin. So hindi natin pwedeng ilagay lahat yan sa bangko. What if magsara yung bangko, something happened, magka-robbery, or something happened, nandun lahat ng pera natin. And magkano ba ang PDIC? Ang insurance dun is 500,000 lang. What if we put it all in a single basket? Nandyan lang lahat. And something happened to it. So nandyan na lahat ng hard-earned money natin. That's why kailangan din natin mag-diversify. And again, for this slide, we must put at least 3 to 6 months, at least 3 months up to 6 months of our gross income sa banks. Next slide. So let's talk about investment now. Ano ba ang investment? Pag-uusapan natin investment. So here, investment is an asset and it will generate income or appreciate in the future. So that's investment. So major highlight lang dito is if it will generate income for me or it will appreciate in the future. Example here, I have an iPhone. So example, it's an asset. It's a good, may value siya, malaki. You can buy both iPhone for 20, 30, 40,000. And now, meron na mga 80,000, 90, 100,000 na iPhone. So meron siyang high value. But the question is, will it appreciate in the future? Well, we don't know. Sapatos, nag-appreciate sa future. In the future, some kicks, some shoes, nag-appreciate yan in the future. But mga sapatos ni Jordan, iba't sapatos na mga Gucci, sapatos ni Pacquiao. So yan, pwede yung mag-appreciate in the future. And the second thing is, will it generate income for me? Pagkakakitaan ko ba to? So ito bang cellphone na to, gagamitin ko lang for my personal use, for entertainment, o will it generate income for me? So I can use this for blogging. Pwede ko siyang gamitin pang vlog. Pwede ko siyang gamitin pang palod. Pwede akong mag-online selling. So ngayon, it's age of technology, age of information, and halos lahat nasa internet, online. So the question here is, will it generate income for me? So as long as it will generate income or appreciate in the future, it can be called as an investment. So that's investment. And 2 reasons why we should invest. Bakit ba natin kailangan mag-invest? So unang-una is to beat inflation. So ano ba yung inflation? So ito yung increase of the prices of goods and services. And for short, kinakain ito yung value ng pera natin. So ano ba ang inflation? Let's say for the month, nag-announce si BSP ng 2% inflation, meaning na tumaas ang goods and services, ang mga presyo ng 2% for the month. So that's inflation. Imagine na we put your money 1% at the bank. So it means yung value ng pera mo bumababa ng bumababa. That's why you don't put everything in the bank. That's why you need to invest para ma-counter yung inflation o yung pagbaba ng pera natin. So that's inflation. And second thing is to achieve your financial goals. As we've tackled before, mga financial goals natin, kailangan natin mag-invest para matupad yung pangarap natin. So challenges in investing, disiplina. Pangalawa is finding the right investment suited for you for financial goals and capabilities. So ano ba ang investment na tama sa atin? Saan ba tayo dapat mag-invest? And that's the good thing na nandito tayo lahat. Kasi in IMG, sa amin sa Ramper, matutulungan po namin kayo. Matutulungan po tayo ng IMG to find the right investment suited for us. And there's a lot of investment vehicle na we can invest in. So malilito tayo sa sobrang dami. We just have to find the right investment suited for us. So now, what are your options as an investor? Saan ba dapat tayo mag-invest? So ito, unang-una, stock trading. Ayan na yung direct stocks. Don't worry, hindi tayo dito magiging technical. Sobrang technical natin. So we'll tackle the basic. So direct stock, ano nga ba yung stock? I'm sure familiar kayo, makakarinig kayo, mag-invest ako sa stock ni Jollibee, stock ni BDO, stock ni Meralco. And ano nga ba yung stock? So stock is a representation of the smallest piece and ownership in a company. So saying na merong pizza. And yung one slice doon is a small portion, a small piece of the ownership ng company. And mapunta sa yung slice ng pizza, it means sa'yo na yung company na yun. So that's direct stocks. So bakit nga ba nagkakaroon ng stocks? It is used by companies to raise money for capital expansion. Say na merong company A, and kailangan nila ng pera. Kailangan nila to expand. Kailangan nila ng capital. So ang gagawin nila is mag-IPO or initial public offering. So with that, it means i-offer nila company yung kampanya na sa publiko. So bibigay niyo isang buong pizza. And kailangan niya ng 10 million. So each slice of the pizza represents an ownership. And kung magkaroon ka doon ng 2 slices, it means sa'yo yung, let's say, 20% ng company. And in exchange of that, magiging sa'yo yung company at yung pera papasok sa kumpanya para meron silang capital for expansion. So that's why merong stocks. So that's yung una, IPO. So there are three things para makapag-start ng company to gain capital or to raise fund. So unang-una is yung IPO. Pangalawa is loan sa bangko. Pwede nilang gawin yun. And yung third thing mamaya pag-uusapan natin and i-discuss ko. So direct stock is traded in the stock market like PSE. So ayan yung Philippine Stock Exchange. Ayan yung official stock market natin sa Pilipinas. So example ng mga stock ng mga market ng stocks sa atin, ayan si PSE, si SM, Ayala Land, BPI, BDO, URC, and Pure Gold, and many more. So trivia, there are more than 300 companies listed in the stock markets Pilipinas. So how do you earn with stock investing? Capital appreciation. So investing, will it appreciate or it will generate income? So itong stock investing, nag-appreciate siya in the future. So say na example 1 si Ayala Land was 1.1 pesos in 2001 and naging 34 pesos na siya today. So that's 34 pesos. So another trivia, our president si Mr. Rex Mendoza, who is considered as the Warren Buffett ng Pinas. Kasi he's considered as an investment guru, one of the best speaker in the country, and itong experience sa stock market. He's been in the stock market for the last 30 years. So isa siya sa mga veterano dito sa market na to. So trivia, si Ayala Land nabili ni Boss Rex at 4 pesos way back. And now it's 34 pesos. And that's our boss. And we're talking millions or even billions na investment dito. And now it's 34 pesos. So imagine na yung 1 peso na ininvest mo noong 2001 will become times 34. So that's our boss. And itong 34 pesos nito is drop pa. Before COVID, Ayala Land was around 50 pesos or almost 50 pesos. And now it went to 34 pesos because of COVID-19. So that's the that's the first trivia with our boss. Nito naman, JFC or Jollibee Foods Corporation is 6.87 last 2001 and ngayon 140 pesos na siya. So, si Boss Rex, another trivia, he bought Jollibee way back at 9 pesos per share. And now it's 140 pesos. And yes, 100 pesos, 40 pesos is trading at loss today. Before, Jollibee was almost 300 pesos. And now, 140 at bagsak pa ang market. So you can check the story of our boss sa YouTube channel namin. Meron kaming meron kaming YouTube channel sa YouTube. You can check it out, Ramber Financials. Maraming story doon, maraming aral na matututunan. Pag-aaralan po natin lahat. Nandun yung manager namin, nandun si boss na nagsasalita, giving advices about certain things. Siyempre, investing, mutual funds, nandun din yung SVP namin or Vice President, and many more. You can also check Mr. Marvin Hermo's YouTube channel. So nandun, marami rin siyang interviews with boss. And nakukwento ni boss yung past niya, yung experiences niya with the stock market. So moreover, how do you earn with stock investing? So ito will generate income for me. So there's a dividendo or dividends. So dividends is a distribution of reward from the portion of company's earning and binabayad yan sa shareholders. Example, si Jollibee earned 1 billion this year, for example, only. And yung 1 billion na yan na kinita nila this year, ano bang gagawin nila dyan? I-reinvest ba yan ni Jollibee? Pag-uusapan nila ng board, pag-uusapan ng chairman, ng management, i-reinvest ba nila yan sa Jollibee para mag-expand ng Jollibee? O pwede nilang ibigay na dividendo para sa mga investors, sa mga may-ari ng kumpanya ng Jollibee. Dahil may-ari kayo, loyal kayo, hindi kayo lumilipat, it means, so they will distribute dividends. Bibigyan nila ng, dahil company nga nila yun, yung kinita ng company, pwede nilang ibigay sa investor. But it depends sa panapag-usapan. So that's dividend. And mostly, binibigay siya, depende sa kontratang pipirmahan. But most commonly, it's given quarterly. So that's dividends. So pros and cons ng stock investing. It's the best instrument for long-term investing. Ayan yung isang advantage. Best way to stay ahead of inflation. So cons naman, you have to do it yourself. So paano nga ba mag-invest sa stock market? So first thing is you have to do it yourself. Kayo magsasadi ng chart. Pag-aaralan natin yung chart, maraming shapes, maraming letters, maraming lines, market timing. Ayan yung laging gusto ng yung isa sa mga common na strategy ginagawa, market timing. Bababa ba yan? Saka na ako bibili, mababa. So that's market timing. Reading news. So reading news o yung balita, sobrang important din sa stocks. Kasi stocks is driven by law of supply and demand. And magkaroon lang ng pangit na balita, pangit ang magiging epekto sa stock market. It means mag-aalisa ng mga investor at tataas ang supply, bababa at presyo ng mga stocks. That's why it's very important. Kaya nung pumasok ang COVID-19, sobrang drop ang market sa sa mundo. Global pandemic, global financial crisis. So second thing is good stocks require this big amount of money to start. So they have a thing called board lot. So bago ka mag-invest kay Jollibee, kailangan mo ng minimum number of shares na ganito. And yun yung board lot. So, yung iba, may one share lang, may 10 share, may 100, may 10,000, may 1,000 shares. Silang nare-require. It depends. Iba-iba yan. And stock market is volatile and risky. Stock market, sobrang likot na. Pwede siyang dumiretso, bababa, tataas ulit, bababa ulit. So, that's volatility and risky. And yung fourth thing is emotional roller coaster. So, dito na papasok yung discipline natin. So again, it's our hard-earned money. Yes, it's our hard-earned money. And kapag nag-invest tayo dyan, of course, yung emotion natin, maapektuhan tayo na maapektuhan. Pera natin yan. That's why yung law of supply and demand. Pag bumabagsak yung stock, syempre, emotion ng mga investor, mga tao, matatakot sila, lalabas sila. And that's why bababa lalo yung market. So that's emotional roller coaster. So another trivia, si Boss Rex, our president, invested sa PLDT at 6 pesos per share. And nung nag-invest siya sa PLDT, bumagsak ng 3 pesos ang PLDT from nung way back pa. Dahil nung nabaril si Ninoy Aquino. From 6 pesos to 3 pesos. And that's 50%. Dahil sa nabaril si Ninoy Aquino. And imagine yung, let's say, millions of investment na nilagay ni boss, naging kalahati. So that's yung emotional roller coaster natin, papasok. So anong gagawin ng ibang tao? Baka maubos, aalis na ako. Baka maubos pa, withdrawing ko na, redeem ko na lahat. Sayang yung pera ko. But our president, Mr. Rex, what did he did? Invest na matakot siya, hindi siya umalis. And ang ginawa niya is, nag-invest pa siya na mas marami. And PLDT now is at 1,000 pesos per share. And yes, drop pa rin siya. PLDT before, nasa 3,000 yan. Ngayon, nasa 1,000 na lang siya. So that's another trivia from our boss. And bakit po ba natin kailangan mag-invest sa stocks? Bakit ba sa stock market tayo mag-i-invest? So again, there are more than 300 companies listed in the stock market. And bakit ba tayo mag-i-invest sa stocks? So ito. So I'll make my old self as an example. So before I was a working student sa Jollibee, I was a working student, nagtatrabaho ako sa Jollibee and pumapasok ako. And nagtatrabaho ko, nakaipon ako at least, I think, 3 bank accounts. Nagkaroon ako nun. Nung college ako. I was 18, 19 years old back then. And for example, ito, let's say na it's Saturday, it's weekend, swelduhan, and pagkasweldo. So again, I live in the province. I'm from San Pablo, Laguna. And let's say na sumweldo ako. Pagkasweldo ko, it's weekend, it's payday. Saan papasok yung sweldo natin? Of course, it will go straight to the bank. And here, sa probinsya, unlike sa Maynila, sa Makati, sa office namin na maglakad-lakad ka lang, nandiyan na yung mga bangko. So dito sa probinsya, sa Laguna, bago ka makapunta sa bangko, pupunta ka sa bayan. So kailangan mong mag-commute, kailangan mong magsasakyan. And now, meron na akong sweldo sa bangko. And excited na akong kunin niya kasi it's weekend. It's weekend and ano bang ginagawa sa weekend? So kailangan mong gastusin yan. So ayan, pagpasok ng pera natin sa bangko, so gusto ko nang withdrawin. So I'll start my car. Start ako ng sasakyan. Habang nagdadrive ako papunta sa bayan, gusto ko mag-withdraw. Napansin ko, wala na pala akong gasolina. Kailangan magpagas. And so, makakita ako ng Petron. Pagkatingin ko sa Petron, papagas na ako. Okay, pagkapagas ko, may 7-Eleven. So, ayun yung 7-Eleven. Ano gagawin sa 7-Eleven? Bibili ako ng pagkain, bibili ako may inom, o magpapaload ako sa PLDT Smart or Globe. So, pagkapaload ko, of course, it's weekend, it's swelduhan. Sinong tatawagan ko? Tatawagan ko ba yung girlfriend ko? Tatawagan ko yung friends ko, of course. And then, ang gagawin ng mga millennial, mga bata, ang gagawin ng kaibigan, ng weekend, swelduhan, of course, ayan, San Miguel Corporation. Yes, nandyan din po ang San Miguel Corporation. Nandyan din ang Emperador, sa stock market din. And para po sa mga mahihilig sa San Miguel o sa Fundador. So ayan, pasok sa stock market yan. So ayan, San Miguel Corporation, napag-usapan na namin, okay na. And I remember na dito sa highway mayroong Pure Gold and lagi kami dito bumibili sa Pure Gold. So diyan namin may bibilin yung beer, diyan namin bibilin yung pagkain, pulutan, pwede kaming magluto diyan. So ayan yung Pure Gold. And after that, pagkatapos ng inuman, nandiyan si Jollibee. So kain na, mga ginagawa ng lasing. So yung mga may edad na lasing, mga may edad na mag-inom, pagkatapos na mag-inom, automatic tutulog yan. Pero yung mga bagets, mga binata, pagkainuman ng mga dire-diretso yung kain yan. Hindi tulog. So, ayan yung pagkakaiba. And after that, so kinabukasan na, tapos na, it's Sunday. And ano bang ginagawa ng sa Sunday? So, Sunday is church day, Sunday is family day. And saan ba pumupunta ang family, saan ba pumupunta ang tao pang Sunday? Of course, they go straight to malls. So, ayan yung Ayala, Robinson, and SM. So, here dito sa slide nito, bakit ba siya importante? So, meron tayong sinasabi na don't be a consumer, be an owner. So, dito sa slide na to, I said na there are more than 300 companies listed in the stock market. And itong mga company nito, konting-konti lang. But you see how I consume my money with these companies. You see how these companies rob my money. Paano ako gumagastos dito. At ito pa lang yung mga company na to before. So the main lesson here is, are you going to stay as a consumer, or you can invest and be a part owner of these companies and share the profit with them. So that's the lesson in this slide. So matakaw po tayong uminom ng San Miguel, ng mga alak. So hindi lang tayo basta-basta nagko-consume sa kanila. Kumikita rin tayo tuwing bumibili tayo ng beer. So that's the lesson here in this slide. So next slide, bonds. So kanina I said na 3 ways to start to raise funds or raise capital for expansion ng companies. So first thing is yung IPO, second thing is yung loan, bank loan, third thing is bond. So ano ba yung bonds? So bonds are debt instrument, pautang po ito. Pero hindi si investor ang mangungutang, hindi yung mga tao ang mangungutang, si company ang mangungutang or si government. So here, it can be used by government or corporation to raise money for capital. So for example, ganina si company A, binigay niyo yung company sa public in exchange sa money. And ang kapalit ng bibigyan niyo yung ownership. Pero dito, magre-release lang siya ng bonds. I-announce niya. Let's say na kailangan nila ng 10 million and magre-release sila ng bonds. So here, hindi nila binibigay yung ownership ng company. But otherwise, nangungutang sila sa publiko. Kailangan nilang 10 million, uutangin ko yung 1 million. And kailangan lang nila ng 9 million. So yung ibang investor, kukunin yung 9 million. So let's say nasa akin yung 1 million. And ano bang kapalit ng utang? Of course, it's interest payment. And how do you earn with bond investing? And yung interest payment. So dahil nangutang ang company sa akin, nangutang ang company sa investor, public investor, they have to pay interest. So bond investor receive periodic payments. And ginagamit nga ito ng government corporation to raise money for capital and expansion. So pros and cons, bond investing. Bonds provides a steady stream of guaranteed income. So yes, pangutang siya. And nangungutang din sila BPI, sila Ayala, sila Globe. Nangungutang din sila ng pera kahit big company na sila. And sino bang di magpapautang sa kanila? And ito, lower risk compared to stocks. So the only risk here is kung mababayaran ba tayo ng company, tatakbo ba ng company yung pera natin. So ayun yung mga risk. Unlike sa stock market na it can be volatile. So cons naman, usually accessible only to big and institutional investor. So hindi siya basta-basta mangungutang sila Jollibee, Ayala, kung kanino man. So accessible lang siya to big institutional investor or yung mga may profile as an investor, profile as a businessman, and many more. So second thing is it requires large amount of money capital, amount of capital. Hindi sila mangungutang ng 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. Most commonly, nagpapausong na 10 million or 100 million. Hindi sila basta-basta mangungutang ng ginong pera. So that's bond investing. So the question now is, are stocks and bonds for you? One way to know if an investment is much for you and your goal is to know your investment risk profile. So kanina nabanggit ko na may iba't iba tayong emosyon. Meron lahat tayo. Pag nag-i-invest tayo, yung pera natin, kanya-kanya tayo ng reaction. And of course, there's a risk profile tayo na tinatawag. And ito yung iba't ibang klase ng investor. So iba't iba ng emotion. Of course, meron niyang iba't ibang risk profile na tinatawag. So unang-una yung mga conservative. Yes, from the word it is conservative. So yung mga conservative investor. Na mga conservative investor na ayaw nilang magkaroon ng loss na ganito kalaki, let's say 20-30%. And okay lang sa kanilang kumita lang ng 5%, 2%, 3% as long as hindi sila magkakaloss na more than 10%, 20%, or it depends to their conservativeness. So, ayun yung mga conservative investors. So, for short, conservative sila. Second thing is yung mga moderate. So, ito naman yung sakto lang, balance lang, yan yung mga moderate investor. So, okay lang sa kanilang magkaroon ng loss na moderate lang, magkaroon ng gain na moderate lang din. So, that's a moderate investor. So, ito yung mga time horizon nito is middle only at 3 to 5 years. Unlike sa mga conservative investor, So they must invest at least for 3 to 6 months or even less than a year or 1 year only. And third thing, ayan yung mga aggressive investor. So yes, mga aggressive. So parang most commonly mga bata tulad ko aggressive. So it's okay to be aggressive as long as you have a long time horizon. Matagal ka mag-invest. Kanina nabanggit ko yung market timing. But the secret sa stock investing is not market timing. It's the time in the market kung gaano katagal. So you see yung example, yung mga trivias ko kay Boss Rex na he invested sa Jollibee, Ayala, Globe, PLDT, from way back, and ano na yung mga presyo ng investments niya ngayon. So that's why the longer the time horizon, the better. So ayun yung mga aggressive investor natin. Ayun yung mga 5 or more years sila mag-i-invest. So that's aggressive. And they can sustain loss as long as they can receive a higher income or higher gain. So ayun yung mga aggressive investors natin. So what are mutual funds? So now we'll talk about mutual funds. Ano nga ba ang mutual funds? So babasahin ko po muna. So mutual funds is an investment company that pools money together from different investors and invest them in various investment vehicles such as stocks and bonds, depending on the investment objectives and policies of the company. So mutual funds is an investment company at iniipon nila yung pera. So it's an investment company that pools money together. Iniipon nila yung pera from different investor. May mga iba't ibang nag-i-invest. So si mutual fund company, iipunin nila yung pera. And anong gagawin ni mutual fund company? So si mutual fund company, they will invest it in different vehicles, different investment vehicles. So most commonly is stocks and bonds, depending on the investment objectives and policies of the company. So that's mutual funds. So paano ba gumagana mutual funds? So here, the illustration, say na there are 4 individuals, there are 4 investors, and they all plan to invest. They have investable funds, meron silang pera. Ayaw nilang ilagay sa bangko, ayaw nilang mangutang, ayaw nilang ipautang. Gusto nilang mag-invest sa stock market. So using mutual fund. So now they found mutual fund. And they will give their money sa mutual fund companies. So anong gagawin ni mutual fund companies? They will pool the investments from the investors. Ipunin nila yan. Pagkaipon nila yan, so now, dahil binigay yung pera ng investor, so in exchange, so the investors will receive the number of shares. So ayun yung net asset value per share. So yung kapalit na binigay nilang pera will be converted into number of shares. And now, si mutual fund company, pagka-pool nila ng pera, what will they do? They will invest it in different investment vehicles, most commonly stocks or bonds. Pero now, they have to hire the fund manager first. And the fund manager will invest it to stocks and bonds. So, sino ba si fund manager? So, si fund manager yung expert. Sila yung well-managed, sila yung well-knowledgeable, well-educated, well-equipped, well-trained sa stock market and sa investing. So sila yung expert, sila yung maalam. Sila yung magagaling dyan. Sila yung nagtatrabaho niyan araw-araw. Sila yung sa ulo, sila yung expert dyan. Sila yung araw-araw sumasabak sa stock market. And yes, they are very reliable. So sila yung nagtrabaho nila yan. And now, they save the hassle for us. And sila yung gumagawa nun, sila yung pamapasok araw-araw. Si mutual fund company, tatrabahuhin yung investment natin, yung pera natin, para kumita ng kumita. And tayo, kahit natutulog tayo, kahit wala tayong gumagawa, tumatrabaho yung pera natin. So that's money at work. May gumagawa ng trabaho sa pera natin. And that's the investment. And now yung stocks and bonds will go back straight to the fund or dun sa funds, sa pooled money. And yes, magko-compound siya, meaning magpapatong-patong yan hanggang kumita ng kumita. And it will go straight back to the investors. So I hope na it's clear. And if you have question later on, you can ask po. And even now, pwede po kayong magtanong. So I hope it's clear. So here, yung net asset value per share naman. Kaya na I've tackled the net asset value per share. It's the current price in which a single share of fund is valued. Example na there's 1,000 pesos at nag-invest tayo ng 1 pesos per share. You will get 1,000 shares in exchange. So that's net asset value per share. So here are the benefits of investing sa mutual fund. Bakit ba sa mutual fund tayo mag-invest? Bakit hindi na natin save sa bangko? or sa ibang investment. So unang-una, affordability. So mutual funds, way back, bago ka makapag-invest sa stock market, kailangan mo big amount of money. So before, mga 80s, 90s, kailangan mo ng malaking pera bago ka makapag-invest sa stock market. To become an investor, sobrang dami mo kailangan pagdaanan. Compared, sorry. So bago ka maging investor, marami kang kailangan requirements, and of course, need a massive amount of money. Kasi noon, maliit pa lang yung merkado, maliit pa lang yung market. And kung ang pera mo ay 10,000 or 100,000, hindi ka papansin ng mga broker, hindi ka nila entertain. So before, it was 100,000, 10,000, and now it became 1,000 na lang. You can start your investment, mutual investment at 1,000 pesos. And may kapag-add ka ng 500 pesos lang. So you can start 100,000 pesos, additional minimum is 500 pesos. Kaya yung mga estudyante, pwede na. So, in fact, meron kaming mga student investors na nag-i-invest 1,000, 2,000 monthly, nag-iipon na sila. So, unlike, kaysa ipunin nila yan sa bangko. Kung iniipon nila yan sa investment, sa stocks, sa mutual fund, at that very young age, so, after 10 years, we don't know how much could it be. So, it's much better than saving in the bank. So, sinabi nga nila, savings is good, but it's not enough. That's why you need to learn how to invest. So, ito naman yung diversification. So, diversification is not putting your eggs in one basket. Hindi siya nakakalat. Hindi siya nakalagay lang sa isang basket. It means nakakalat siya. So, it means ganito. So, Mr. Warren Buffett, so a billionaire, one of the richest man in the world. So, ganito yung diversification niya. Ganito yung pagkalat ng pera niya. So, yung personal niya, 9%. Ayun yung personal finances niya. Ayun yung sariling pera niyang ginagastos. And yung 90% ng pera niya is invested, nakakalat sa iba't ibang industriya or iba't ibang investment. So, nandyan yung food investments niya. So, he's a big investor of McDonald's and Coca-Cola. So, 34%, nandun na lahat yung pera niya. So, we're talking here 90 billion or 100 billions of dollars. Financial services, meron siya sarili niyang investment company na Berkshire Hathaway. And yung Berkshire Hathaway is $100,000 per share. So, gano'ng kamahal yung investment niya, yung company niya. Meron tayong retail, banks, JP Chase Morgan & Company, Bank of America, yung mga big banks sa USA, industrial, construction, insurance, oil, gas, and many more. So, benefits of investing in mutual funds is convenience. So, here we have a fund manager. So, sila yung magtatrabaho para sa atin. Sila yung papasok ng 8 to 5. Sila yung pupunta sa stock market. Sila yung magbabasa ng news. Sila yung mag-analyze ng chart. Sila yung magma-market timing. Sila ang gagawa ng lahat at tayo, nakaupo lang tayo. Wala tayong ginagawa at may tumatrabaho ng pera natin. So, that's convenience. And of course, yung professional fund management. Of course, they are the well knowledgeable, well educated, well equipped, well trained. Sila yung kompleto lahat. Sila yung mga professional fund management. So that's the professional fund management. And another thing is liquidity. So if meron bang mag-aas ng Morgan, Sir Morgan, is it liquid? Pwede ba siyang i-redeem? Pwede ba siyang withdrawin? Yes po. You can redeem your mutual investment within 5 to 7 banking days. So, what do you have to do? Kailangan mo lang mag-sign ng redemption form. Lalagay mo doon yung details ng investment mo, mga numbers, folio number mo, account number ng investment mo, and lalagay mo sa baba yung amount of investment na gusto mong redeem or yung number of shares na gusto mong kunin. And after 5 to 7 banking days, it will be redeemed. At ilalagay mo doon kung saan mo gustong i-redeem. Pay check ba yan? Deposit ba yan sa bangko mo? Or cash? So, nandyan yung desired location ng pag-redeeman mo. And after 5 to 7 banking days, makukuha mo na siya. So, yes, it's liquid. Tax exemption. So, mutual funds are subjected to final withholding tax or yung neto. So, wala pong tax sa mutual fund. And bakit ba ganito? Bakit ba walang tax sa mutual fund? It's because the government encourages the public to invest in the stock market. So another trivia sa Pilipinas po, not more than 1% ang involved sa stock market sa mga Pilipino. Ang nakinabang sa atin is foreigners. So not more than 1% nag-invest sa atin. That's why the government encourages us to invest sa stock market. So imagine law of supply and demand. What if every Filipinos invested in the stock market? And yung demand tataas, yung supply bababa, and yung prices tataas. That's why yung emission ng IMG na 30 million families in 30 years. So it means, imagine kung yung 30 million families niya mag-i-invest lahat yan sa stock market. So imagine na yung market natin ngayon is at 6,000 index level. So what if magpasukan lahat ng, let's say, 20 or 30% ng Pilipino? And it means magbo-boom or tataas ang market natin. That's why sa US, sa China, ang taas ng stock market, ang index level nila, ang taas ng market value ng stocks nila. It's because almost everyone is involved. Almost everyone is investing sa stocks. And another thing is safety. So mutual funds are highly regulated by SEC to ensure that there is a check and balance, regular audits, and conducted by external auditors. So ayun yung safety. So it's being regulated by SEC. So that's the safety. So mutual fund structure. So ito yung structure na. So ayun yung mga shareholders. So ayun yung pinakauna. Pangalawa, board of directors. So sila yung nagdulok overall sa investment. So meron tayong investment advisor and fund administrator. So si fund administrator is the fund manager. So ano bang ginagawa nila? So si fund manager is composed by 3 department or 3 groups. And yung fund manager, nandyan si investment advisor, nandyan si trader. So si fund manager yung overall na nakatutok dyan. Si investment advisor, from the word itself, advisor. For example, si fund manager, looking at the chart, reading the news, they wanted to invest sa Wilcon. Sabi ni fund manager, wow, Wilcon, napakaganda ng Wilcon ngayon. It's a good time to invest in this company. So, and sabi niya, trader, okay trader, please buy 1 million worth of shares ng Wilcon tomorrow. So si trader ang mag-execute. Pero sabi ni investment advisor, no, Mr. Fund Manager, let's not buy Wilcon tomorrow. We can wait for at least 3 days or even 2 days. Let's take a look at it first. So that's the investment advisor. So silang tatlo ang nagtatrabaho na. Ito naman yung distributor. So ito yung mga distributor, tulad namin Ramber Financials, kami yung licensed distributor. Meaning na kami yung kami yung pwedeng magbenta, kami yung pwedeng mag-alok, mga bangko. So ayun yung mga licensed distributor. Custodian bank and transfer agent. So sa custodian bank and transfer agent, so transfer agent, nasa kanila yung mga paperworks, nandyan yung mga documents, nandyan yung ibang assets sa custodian bank. Kasi there's a rule by SEC na yung pooled money, hindi mo pwedeng i-invest yan lahat. At least 5 to 10% must be liquid. So dyan nila nilalagay yan sa custodian bank. Pero hindi siya deposited. Nakalagay siya sa safekeeping box as a treasury deposit, or nasa treasury siya, safekeeping box. An external auditor, sila yung naggagawa ng check and balance sa finances or sa accounting staff ng mutual fund. So that's the structure of mutual funds. So ito, type of mutual funds. So we have 4 different type of mutual funds. So we have bond fund. So from the word itself, bond funds, bonds, or mga para yan sa conservative investor natin. So it's invested in fixed income instrument. So mutual fund is iba-iba yan. So bond fund, naka-invest lang siya sa bonds. And yung average earning niya is 6%. So this is historical chart, historical data. So that's 6%. Money market fund naman is a short-term fixed instrument. And 2% is the average income. Average earning from investing sa money market fund. So money market fund is like bond fund, pero mas short term siya. So meaning na 3 months, 6 months only, unlike sa bond fund na at least 1 year. So stock fund naman, ito na yung naka-pure invested sa stocks. So investment composition, share of stocks or equity funds. Ang objective niya is long-term capital growth and the average earning is 18%. Balance fund naman, combination of stocks and fixed income investments. So the average earning is 12%. So that's the type of mutual funds. So how do you earn through mutual fund investing? So say na si Marky, let's say na meron tayong investor, si Marky invested 10,000 sa mutual fund at 1 pesos per share or yung net asset value. At nung nabili niya yan ng 1 pesos per share, nagkaroon siya ng 10,000 shares. So after 5 years, the net asset value per share became 1.75 pesos. Meaning na 75% nag-increase yung value nung price nung net asset value per share. So it means yung 10,000 niya became 17,500 in the last 5 years. So that's how you earn in mutual fund investing. So ito, peso cost averaging is a strategy discussed by the expert, by many financial advisors, by the mga CEOs or mga big investors, indifferent investors. So ano nga bang peso cost averaging? It means na nag-i-invest ka ng certain amount, ng fixed amount regularly in a regular basis. No matter what happened, umulan man o bumagyo, umaraw man o umulan, lumuhod man ang mga tala, tuloy-tuloy lang ang pag-i-invest. That's peso cost averaging. So imagine na market, tataas, bababa, tataas, bababa, tataas, bababa. And that's the peso cost averaging. So no matter what happened, tuloy-tuloy lang silang mag-invest. For example, here, John and Peter. So they decided, John invested 12,000 noong January. Nakabili niya yung net asset value per share at 1 pesos, 1.1. Nagkaroon siya ng 10,500 shares. And si Peter naman, on the other hand, nag-peso cost average siya. Ginawa niyang monthly basis, regular. Papansin natin yung net asset value per share nagpa-fluctuate. Tumataas, bumababa. And in exchange, nakakabili siya ng mas maraming shares. And in the end, nagkaroon siya ng almost 12,000 number of shares, while John only had 10,500 number of shares. So in the end, ang pinakalabanan dito is number of shares. So that's the most important thing. That's one of the important things sa investment. Padamihan niya ng shares. So that's peso cost averaging. So asset management companies in the Philippines. So kanina nabanggit ni Sir Eric sa profile na we almost have everything. We got it all for you. We have different companies na pwedeng pag-investan. So here, meron tayong asset management companies. So let's take a look at it. So Soldibo, Atram, Philequity, Pilam Asset Management, Sun Life Asset Management, and First Metro Asset Management. So don't get confused. Asset management companies po ito. Hindi po ito mutual fund companies. So ano nga ba ang asset management companies? So si asset management companies, sila yung gumagawa ng mutual fund companies. For example, si Pilam Asset Management. Pilam Asset Management has Pilam Pilam Stock Fund, Pilam Bond Fund, Pilam Money Market Fund. Sun Life has its own Pilam Sun Life Stock Fund, Sun Life Money Market, Sun Life Bond Fund. So that's the asset management companies. And sa Pilipinas, there are 60 mutual fund companies in our country. Pero dito sa Ramper, we almost have 40 to 50 mutual funds na mapagpipili-pilian natin with these asset management companies na partner ng Ramper and ng IMG. And of course, yes, iba-iba sila ng strategy, iba-iba silang characteristics, may kanya-kanya silang katangian, meron silang kanya-kanyang good side, may kanya-kanya silang bad side. And yes, alam po lahat yan ng Ramper Financials. Pagtutulungan po namin kayo, iba't iba sila ng characteristic. So let's take a look at Sun Life. Si Sun Life, sikat yan sa dollars. They're the best dollar fund last year. Yung World Voyager, Sun Life World Voyager na mutual fund nila. So that's the name of the mutual fund, Sun Life World Voyager. Last year, they earned 22 to 24% na return or gain last year. And that's the number one, highest sa dollar fund last year. That's Sun Life World Voyager. And si Sun Life, sikat din niya sa money market and sa balance fund, sa bond fund. So that's Sun Life. Si Pilam Asset Management naman. So yung bond fund niya, ayun yung nangunguna last year. Pilam Bond Fund. it earned around 11% last year, being the highest bond fund last 2019. And ito naman, PhilEquity. So si PhilEquity yung may best track record in the history of mutual funds sa Pinas. Mapapansin natin sa chart, it's going up. It goes up parang straight. Sobrang ganda nung chart nila. Isang direction lang sila pataas. It's because PhilEquity or yung PhilEquity Fund Inc. started 1994. And noong 1994, sa PhilEquity Fund Inc. invested kila Jollibee, SM, Ayala, BDO, BPI, o yung blue chip companies natin ngayon. Blue chip companies meaning yung top companies or yung top 30 companies. So dati noong 90s, 1994, itong mga company na to, si Jollibee, styrofoam pa lang noon, black and white pa sila. O para ngayon, kulay red na, mataba na si Jollibee, nakakarton na sila. So sobrang laki na ng ginrow ng Jollibee at ng mga companies na yun. So yung companies na pinag-invest ni PhilEquity noon is member of the top 30 companies sa Pilipinas ngayon. That's why yung growth ng PhilEquity Fund Inc. sobrang laki. From 1 pesos to 40 pesos. Means nag 40 pesos yung isa nilang mutual fund or yung PhilEquity Fund. So on the other hand, that's FAMI naman, First Metro Asset Management Inc. So si First Metro Asset Management Inc., yung isa nilang mutual fund started last 2006. And the fund manager decided to invest in mining corporations. So they decided to invest in the mining corporations, and yung market nun sa mining sobrang maganda, sobrang nag-boom. And in 1 year, they earned 67%. 67% return on income sa investments nila sa mining corporations in just a year. The fund manager didn't change their strategy. Kahit years have passed, ang dami nangyari, they still stick with the mining industries. They still believe in the mining industries. But sa kasamaang palad, bumagsak ang mining corporations, and yung 67% nila nawala. So that's First Metro Asset Management. So ito naman si Atram. So I said before na si Atram, si PhilEquity yung may best track record in the history sa mutual fund ng Pilipinas. Pero isang asset management companies lang ang nakatalo sa kanila, and that's Atram or ATR Asset Management. So si Atram, meron siyang tinatawag na Atram Alpha Opportunity Fund. So ayun lang yung sa isang mutual fund na nag-overtake si PhilEquity Fund last 2014. So it happened because of Yolanda. So pumasok si Yolanda, bagsak ang market, and si fund manager ng Atram, they took advantage of it. Bagsak yung market no Yolanda. Nakaiwas sila dun sa nangyaring crash nung sa Yolanda. Na-redeem nila lahat ng pera bago mangyari yun. At kinabukasan sa kanila, inilagay lahat yung investment nila. Meaning na, nakabili sila ng mura, nakaiwas sila sa bagsak or sa drop. So, nung panahon na yun, si FAMI, red, si Soldibo, red meaning na loss or drop. Si Sun Life, red, si Pilam, red, si PhilEquity, white or break even. Si Atram lang ang nag-iisang green nung nangyari yung Yolanda. And simula nung 2014, Atram stayed at the top. They became the best fund manager. So people call them the best fund manager in the last 5 years. So ito yung 6th year. So very consistent yun, 5 years. So let's take a look if Atram can maintain their consistency for up to 6 years. So ayun yung fund nila na Atram Alpha Opportunity Fund. So later on, Sir Eric will discuss the recommended products or recommended mutual funds. So sobrang dami niyan. Saan ba tayo dapat mag-invest? So later, Sir Eric will discuss. And last but not least, Soldibo funds. So Soldibo is being managed by Atram as well. So si Soldibo, ang fund manager niya is si Atram. That's why last year, Soldibo is the second top performer sa mutual fund sa Pilipinas at 13%. So si Atram naman at 19% yung number 1. So si dollars, number 1 si Sun Life. Sa peso, number 1 si Atram. So ganun kagaling si Atram. So they take over Soldibo from nowhere. Si Soldibo, naging fund manager si Atram. and they suddenly become the second top performer na mutual fund company sa Pilipinas. So, Sir Eric will discuss the recommended products later. So, next slide, we'll talk about sample statement of accounts. So, ito ang mga sample statement of account natin. So, here, we have yung goal dito. So, again, yung goal muna ang pinaka-importante para sa inyong investment. So, parents' investment for their daughter. Time horizon is 20 years. So, they invested in Phil Equity Fund. Nag-invest sila noong 1997 ng 25,000 pesos. Nabili nila yan ng 2.6 pesos per share at 9,281 at nakuha nilang shares. So, yung 9,281 shares na yan, na nabili nila ng 2.6 pesos noon. So, yung breakdown. So, ito yung breakdown. Ito na nangyari sa 25,000 na investment nila. In 2018, it became 399,000 at nagkaroon silang market value ng gains o ng capital gains ng 374,000 at 1,496% return on income. So, another example, another statement of account. So, ano nga ba yung statement of account? So, as an investor, we have the right, magkakaroon tayo ng statement of accounts in a regular basis. So, it depends sa asset management companies or sa mutual fund companies. So, dito natin ma-check yung gains or yung paper loss or paper gain sa investment natin. Nandyan lahat ng transactions at yung records. So, ito naman is for future business and 10 years on time horizon. So, they invested in Phil Equity as well. So, nag-start sila ng 2008. Nag-invest sila ng 50,000, 50, 50, 80,000. Nabili nila yan ng 11 pesos, 10 pesos, 20 pesos per share, 80 pesos, 1,000, 40, 50, 60. And nagkaroon sila ng total investments of 380,000 sa Phil Equity. So, they invested for 3 years, 2008 to 2011. At magkaroon sila ng 27,000 shares. Pero noong 2012, naging 24 na ang Phil Equity Fund. So let's take a look at it at 2018. So bakit po ba 2018 ang ginagamit? So 2018 yung may highest record sa Phil Equity at 43 pesos per share. So Phil Equity right now is around 20 pesos per share and drop na siya ngayon. So yung 380,000 nila became 1.1 million with a capital gain of 800,000 and return of 200%. So that's their investment. And nakuha kaya nila yung goal nila na future business nila after 10 years. So another example, retirement fund, more than 10 years. So ito, retired na siya. So itong tao na to, yung investor dito is retired already. Nagkaroon siya ng retirement pay na 3 million. And he decided to invest it in bond fund. So bond na siya and meron lang siyang short-term horizon. So he doesn't know hanggang kailan niya i-invest yan. And here, nag-invest sila noong 2004 ng 3 million pesos at 1.90 pesos per share. Nagkaroon siya ng 1.5 million shares. And mapapansin na dito may close parenthesis means nagre-redeem siya. So here, dito sa baba hanggang baba, nagre-redeem na siya, nagre-redeem. And yung amount na nire-redeem niya. Pero papansin natin, tumataas ng tumataas yung net asset value per share. So continue. 2004, naging 2010 na, nagre-redeem pa din siya. Nag-invest sila 1.9, ngayon 2.9 na siya. And 2010, redeem pa rin siya ng redeem. At ang total na na-redeem niya ay 1.8 million. Pero meron pa siyang current value ng 3.2 million. And yung breakdown, kung nandyan pa yung 959,000 shares niya, meron pa siyang 4.1 million pesos per share as of August 29, 2019. So, ayun yung may highest na record, si Pilamban Fund. Last August 29, 2019 at 4.3 pesos per share. So, that's Pilamban Fund. So, now, I'll take over the floor to Sir Eric to discuss how to start, the recommended products, and market update, and many more. So, Sir Eric, are you there?
Hi, Morgan. Thank you for your
Sana
presentation.
marami and
And so,
It's my part. And thank you so much po for listening. I'll take over. I'll give the floor to Sir Ed. Ingat po. Bye-bye.
Okay. Ayan, I believe we are now ready para sa ating fast track. And to start with our fast track, Ma'am Jasmine Consolacion, are you